Welcome to COSM class. Continuation for the previous class. Definition for exhaustive events. The total number of possible outcomes in any trial of a random experiment is known as exhaustive events. Right? What we are taking here, exhaustive event means the total number of possible outcomes we are taking as exhaustive events. Coming to the definition for mutually exclusive events, events of a random experiment are said to be mutually exclusive if no two or more of them can happen simultaneously in the same trial. Or we can say if E1, E2, so on so forth, En are mutually exclusive if and only if Ei intersection Ej is empty for I not equal to J, right? So intersection of any events is empty, then we can say those two events or those events are mutually exclusive events. Now it's time for the definition of probability. If there are n mutually exclusive events of a random way experiment, out of which m events are favorable for a particular event E, then we define the probability of E as, what are the favorable cases here? Favorable cases are m and total n mutually exclusive events. So the formula for probability of the event E is given by probability of E equal to m by n. That is equal to number of favorable events by number of total events. What are the limitations for probability? The elementary events must be equally likely. So this need not be true always. The sample space is finite, but there are instances where the sample space may be infinite. So these are the limitations. So if we overcome the limitations, if we consider a large number of trials of a random experiment, right? How we can overcome this one? So by taking the large number of trials of a random experiment. So axioms of probability. If S is the sample space and E is the any event in a random experiment, then probability of E lies between 0 and 1 for each event E in S, and the probability of total sample space S is 1. If E1, E2 are any mutually exclusive events in S, then we can write probability of E1 union E2 as probability of E1 plus probability of E2. These three are axioms of probability. So here you may have a short question. Define probability and axioms of probability. Right. So here S we are taking a sample space and E is any event. In this case, probability of E lies between 0 and 1, and total sample space probability is 1. If we consider any two events E1 and E2, in this case, if E1 and E2 are any mutually exclusive events in S, then union of those two events probability is sum of the probabilities. That is probability of E1 plus probability of E2. Now we can generalize this third axiom. Generalization for this third axiom, that is, if E1, E2, so on so forth, En are mutually exclusive events in a sample space S, then probability of E1 union E2 union so on so forth En is equal to probability of E1 plus probability of E2 plus so on so forth probability of En. That is probability of union of all events is equal to summation of all probabilities. That is a sigma I equal to 1 to n probability of A. We can write a corollary for this generalization. So in generalization, we are taking from 1 to n. So now we are taking infinite sequence of mutually exclusive events here. So for any infinite sequence of mutually exclusive events, E1, E2, so on, so forth, En, and so on, so forth. In this case, probability of E1 union E2, so on, so forth, En union, so on, so forth is equal to sum of the probabilities of events. Probability of E1 plus probability of E2 plus so on, so forth. Probability of En plus so on, so forth. That is probability of union of all events from I equal to 1 to infinity is equal to summation from I equal to 1 to infinity probability of A. So this is the corollary. So we have a probability definition and then axioms of probability. We have 3 axioms. For third axiom, we can write the generalization and then we have a corollary. For this sequence, that is we are taking infinite sequence for mutually exclusive events. Coming to additive rule, if A and B are any events in S, then probability of A union B equal to probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A intersection B. Additive rule, if A and B are any events in S, then probability of A union B can be written as probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A intersection B. Next, probability of complement event. If A is any event in S, then probability of A complement can be written as 1 minus probability of Now coming to the first problem. What is the probability that a card drawn at random from a pack of playing cards may be either a queen or a king? What is the problem? We are drawing a card at random from a pack of playing cards. So that may be either a queen or a king. So here the total sample space is playing cards. So the number of S is 52, and I am taking the two events here, E1 and E2. So let E1 be the event of the card drawn being a queen. So you know that there are 4 queens in a pack of cards. So the number, right? Number of event E1 is 4. Similarly, you can write the kings N of E2 is also 4. And you can observe that these two, E1 and E2, are mutually exclusive events, right? Since these two are mutually exclusive events, the probability of union of these two events can be written as probability of E1 plus probability of E2. So here what we need to find probability of drawing a card at random from the pack of playing cards. What is the card? That may be either a queen or a king. So probability of E1 union E2 you need to take, that is equal to probability of E1 plus probability of E2. That is number of elements in E1, that is favorable cases we are writing here. Favorable cases by total number of cases in the sample space plus N of E2 by N of S. That is 4 by 52 plus 4 by 52. That is 2 by 16. this is the solution of the first problem. You can see the next problem. In a sample of 446 cars stopped at a roadblock, only 67 of the drivers had their seat belts fastened. Estimate the probability that a driver stopped on that road will have his or her seat belt fastened. Right, so probability of event we need to find. What is that one? So he or her seat belt fastened count we need to take the estimation for the probability. So what is M here? M, you are taking the favorable events. What is the favorable events here? We need to take the 67 because the 67 of the drivers had their seat belts. And what is the total number of cases here? So the sample, what is the sample here? Sample space is 446 cars, right? 446. Yes. So here favorable cases are 67 and the total number of sample space is 446 here. So the probability of the event E is M by N, favorable cases by total exhaustive events, that is 67 by 446. So that is your answer. Right. Coming to the next problem. Out of 15 items, 4 are not in good condition. 4 are selected at random. Find the probability that all are not good. 2 are not good. So there are, we need to find the two probabilities here. So probability of E1 as well as probability of E2 problems, right? So the total number of items here is 15. And we need to select 4 at random, right? So the total number of exhaustive cases becomes 15C4. What is our first problem? All are not good. All are not good. So we have to select the items which are not good from not good items. So how many not good items here? There are 4 not good items. So number of ways of selecting 4 items which are not good, that is equal to 4C4. We have to select 4 items from that 4 pack. So that is a favorable case, and total exhaustive cases are 15C4. So you can write the probability as probability of E1 equal to 4C4 by 15C4. So that is your answer. For coming to the second problem, 2 are not good. So we need to select 2 items are not good. But how many items we need to select? We need to select 4 items in which 2 are not good, 2 are good. So number of ways of selecting 2 bad items is 4C2, and the number of ways of selecting 2 good items is 11C2. Clear? So these 2 are favorable cases. So probability of E becomes probability of 2 good and 2 bad items. So 4C2 into 11C2 by 15C4. That is 99 by 455. So in this way, we can find the probabilities for the given problems. Let's see one more problem. From a city, 3 newspapers A, B, C are being published. A is read by 20%, B is read by 16%, C is read by 14%. Both A and B are read by 8%. Both A and C are read by 5%. both P and C are read by 4%, and all three ABC are read by 2%. What is the percentage of the population that read at least one paper? At least one paper. So here you need to calculate probability of A union, B union, C. The individual probabilities are given here for ABC newspapers. That is 20%, 16% and 14% respectively. And the intersections are given as for A and B. Probability of A intersection B is 8%, A intersection C is 5%, and B intersection C is 4%. And also given that 3 papers read by 2% of the people, that is probability of A intersection B intersection C is equal to 2 by 100. Now we need to calculate probability of A union, B union, C. So the formula is probability of A plus probability of B plus probability of C minus probability of A intersection B minus probability of B intersection C minus probability of C intersection A plus probability of A intersection B intersection C. So by using this formula for 3 events union, substitute all the values. Your answer is 35 by 100. Percentage of population that read at least one paper is 35. So 35% of the people read at least one paper from the given papers A, B, C. Right, next problem. 2 dice are thrown. Let A be the event that the sum of the points on the faces is 9. Let B be the event that at least one number is 6. Find the probability of A intersection B, probability of A union B, and probability of A complement union B complement. What is the problem here? 2 dice are thrown here. So what is the sample space here? You will get 36 number in sample space. And the first event is A. That is sum of the points on the faces is 9. So when you are throwing 2 dice, you need to write all the combinations in A such that their sum is 9. So that A becomes 3, 6, 4, 5, 5, 4, 6, 3. So these are the possible outcomes for A. Similarly for B, what is B event here? B is the event that at least one number is 6. So we need to write all the combinations so that at least one number in B is 6. So the possibilities are 6, 1, 6, 2, 6, 3, 6, 4, 6, 5, 6, 6, and also 1, 6, 2, 6, 3, 6, 4, 6, 5, 6. 6, 6 is already repeated, so no need to write that one. So you have 11 combinations here in B. So probability of A is 4 by 36. Probability of B is 11 by 36. Now if you observe the common points in A and B, that is A intersection B is 3, 6. 6 comma 3. So probability of A intersection B is 2 by 36. That is 1 by 18. Coming to the second one, probability of A union B, that is probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A intersection B. That is 4 by 36 plus 11 by 36 minus 1 by 18. That is 13 by 36. Coming to the third one, probability of A complement union B complement. That is probability of A intersection B whole complement. That you can say as 1 minus probability of A intersection B. So that is equal to 1 minus 13 by 36. 1 minus 13 by 36. That is 17 by 18. So here in this problem, you can observe that there are 36 sample spaces available when you are tossing 2 coins, and they are 1 comma 1, 1 comma 2, 1 comma 3, and so on so forth up to 6 comma 1, 6 comma 2, 6 comma 3, 6 comma 4, 6 comma 5, and 6 comma 6. Let's see one more problem. Two cards are drawn from a well shuffled pack of 52 cards. Find the probability that they are both asses if the first card is repeated or not replaced. Replaced or not replaced. So here 2 pack of cards are there with 52 and 52 items, and we need to select both the asses if the first card is replaced and not replaced. So E be the event here. The 2 cards are asses. So here sample space is 52 and 52. Probability of E is first one replaced. So when you are replacing the cards, right? So probability of E when you are selecting first card from the pack of 52 card, so that becomes 4 by 52 because there are 4 asses. 4 by 52 into you are replaced it again, so it becomes again 4 by 52. So your answer is 1 by 13 into 1 by 13, 1 by 116. If it is not replaced, in that case, what is the probability? That is equal to 4 by 52 for the first card, and for the second card, you need to remove that card from the total sample space. So total sample space becomes 51. And how many asses are there? There are only 3 asses. From that one, you need to select 1 ass. So 3C1 by 51C1. So your total answer becomes 4 by 52 into 3 by 51. That is 1 by 13 into 17. That is 221. So this is the problem with replacement and without replacement. Right, we will see one more problem. A fair dice is tossed twice. Find the probability of getting a 4, 5, or 6 on the first toss and 1, 2, 3, or 4 on the second toss. So here we are tossing 2 coins and we are getting the probability for 4, 5, 6 on the first toss, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the second toss. So the favorable total number of sample space is 6 into 6, 36. And favorable cases are first దాని మీద ఏముండాలమ్మా 1, 4 ఉండొచ్చు, 5 ఉండొచ్చు, 6 ఉండొచ్చు. So your cases are 4, 1 because on the second toss you may have 1, 2, 3 or 4. So the possible cases are 4, 1, 4, 2, 4, 3, 4, 4. This is with 4. Next with 5. 5 comma 1, 5 comma 2, 5 comma 3, 5 comma 4. Next with 6. 6 comma 1, 6 comma 2, 6 comma 3, 6 comma 4. So how many events are there here? Favorable cases 12. Total favorable cases are 12 here, and total sample space is 36. That is n of e is 12 and n of s is 36. So probability of event E, that is equal to formula m by n, that is equal to n of E by n of S. N of E by n of S. What is the probability here? What we are finding? Probability of getting a 4, 5 or 6 on the first task and 1, 2, 3, 4 on the second task. So that is equal to 12 by 36. 12 by 36. That is equal to 1 by 3. Right. So let's see some more definitions in the next class. That is about conditional event and conditional probability. So this is all about today's class. So that is about probability, definition for probability, axioms of probability, and the generalization for third axiom of probability, and corollary of generalization of axiom of 3 property, and some problems on probability. So this is all about for today's class. So in the next class we can learn about conditional event as well as conditional probability and some problems on conditional probability. So this is for today's class. So if you have any doubts, you can ask.